This is the Black Shift Group podcast. Our mission is to create space to elevate, enrich, and expose individuals of color to ideals and concepts that they may not have been privy to. This is your girl, Young Ree.
And I'm your granddad, and that's All Relations. This podcast is just real conversations with real people.
We're going to be discussing lifestyle topics such as overall health and fitness, finances, culture, decode some media, and so much more.
After all, no one really knows what they're doing, so let's just swing it together.
All right, so let's get into it, y'all. Welcome back to the Black Shift Group, y'all. How you doing, Granddad?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I am doing well, but I do have to be honest. This past week, I was so anxious.
Right.
So this week, we do want to go ahead and talk to you guys about anxiety.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people deal with this and they don't even know it. I feel like it's more common, but I don't think people understand or know the signs of anxiety, and it's very, very, very common than what most may know.
I do agree. I feel like if you are under any type of everyday pressure as far as meeting deadlines, getting somewhere by a certain time, or just, trying to please other people, you experience some type of anxiety.
Yeah, and sometimes it just comes out of the blue. Like, it's not just based off of something happening. You can be somewhere where you're not even under stress, and sometimes, boom, it just happens. We just want to touch on that and tell you what to look for. We want to give y'all some of our moments in anxiety, I want to say, give y'all some solutions.
Yeah, so basically how we're going to approach this, we want to go ahead and introduce you guys to a new segment that we want to get kicked off here on the Black Shift Group podcast. It's called Meme Talk. So all of us are on social media a lot, and there are those memes that come up on the timeline that drop major knowledge, but it's just a couple of lines of information. So we actually want to start grabbing those. If you guys want to send some of those over to us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, we can take some of those, pull them apart, do some further research, and further dive into them to make sure that we're really getting an understanding of that information.
Most definitely. Memes are a big part of the culture of today's society. Most of them are pretty funny, but there are some ones that drop that are really, really informative and are really, really relatable. So, this new segment is a Meme Talk. Like she said, if you got any memes that you think are kind of cool or you think that it relates, send it in to us. We'll do a whole episode trying to decode that and telling you what our perception of that is and, just breaking it down.
Yes, y'all. So I guess we can just go ahead and kick it off so that we can relate to you guys. We always try to bring a personal spin to this thing so you guys can know that you are able to relate to us. We can go ahead and give our personal experiences dealing with anxiety, how it overtakes us. And then later on, we'll give you guys some tips on how we actually cope with our anxiety.
For sure. I'll go ahead and start it off. With me, deal with anxiety, and it comes out of nowhere. I could be hanging out with a friend at a place where it's a good time going on. I'm not really stressed that much. And then boom, it comes out of nowhere. I become fidgety. I don't want to talk. I kind of clam up. If I'm with a woman, then I probably just want to hold her hand or something like that. It's that's kind of cute when you think about it, but it's not fun at all to be going through it. I deal with it a lot. When I go out and hang out, I just hope hey, please don't let my anxiety start wilding on me. So it'll throw me off. Everybody's having a good time and I'm just I just want to be left alone for a little bit. But yeah, I definitely deal with anxiety and I'm not afraid to say, and I know for a fact. And with me, I understand that the brain is a very powerful thing.
Yes.
My anxiety makes my chest hurt. I understand that it sounds weird, but it manifests itself into chest pains.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever I get this feeling in my chest, I already know what it's linked to. I'm having some type of anxiety, panic attack. That's the way it affects me, and I understand it affects different people differently.
Yeah, that's correct. I know me, I also deal with anxiety, and mine will come onto me as a sudden doom, sudden fear. I'm afraid to make movements. I can only most of the time go into large groups if it's premeditated and I know that that's something that I'm about to get ready to move into. And a lot of times my anxiety sets on me because it's caused by me. It's caused by my brain, me overthinking and me applying too much pressure to something where I just really need to relax. And it'll show up and it'll cause me to, I do get like Granddad where I get a little fidgety. I get, like right now, I'm kind of almost being overtaken by anxiety because I'm being so blunt and open here, where it's causing me to be at a loss of words. My hands are a little sweaty. But, I mean, it's life. We're all human, and sometimes it'll overtake you when you least expect it.
Yeah, and again, like I said in the beginning of the episode, I believe that this plagues a lot of people and they don't even know. I feel like they kind of ignored the signs or don't know the signs, so it's like, it's just nothing. It's just something that happens just every once in a while. But, we just want to let you know that it happens. And for those who understand anxiety and do know that they are going through having an anxiety attack or a panic attack, that we are right there with you. And like I said, we want to try to come up with solutions and tell you guys how to assess or understand if you are dealing with anxiety.
Yeah, so I guess now we can just go ahead and move into some possible solutions, some things that we actually do. And then later on, we'll, disclose the meme that came up and discuss some of the points listed there. Granddad, I know you were saying that when you suffer with anxiety, you actually have chest pains. What do you do? Like, how do you cope from that?
One thing that I have to understand when am having those chest pains is that it's not too serious. Like,
right.
I tend to associate chest pains with something more serious, like a heart attack. I may joke around when I'm having these panic or anxiety attacks that I'm having a heart attack, but I just tell myself, like, you know why it's like this, why this is happening.
Right.
Like, you just need to calm down, think about something more peaceful. I have these happy places that I go to, in my mind, and I always like to say, I want to find a condo in my happy place whenever I'm going, and whenever I'm having a anxiety attack. Like, I try to go to that happy place, and after a while it goes away. Back when I was younger, I thought maybe it was really something wrong with my heart or something, but I've been plagued with anxiety for a while, so now I'm starting to understand it more, but it doesn't change the fact that when it comes out of nowhere, it's sometimes crippling.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. Like, I know when I suffer, one of the ways that I cope is I'm really heavy into hygiene anyway, but I use it as a coping mechanism for depression and anxiety. I love taking spiritual baths, detox baths, and even when I take my showers, I do a visualization where as the water is streaming over me, I imagine the anxiety or the bad feeling going down the drain. So basically, when I'm getting into the shower, I'll imagine myself being green or orange or red. And as the water comes over me and I'm using the soap, I imagine that color going down the drain. And as it's going down the drain, it's allowing that feeling. I attach that feeling to that color and I let it wash off of me. Another thing that I do love and I highly enjoy is healing crystals. When I was actually going through my recovery from depression journey, I looked into healing crystals and they're amazing, y'all. They are.
Yeah, Ree put me on healing crystals, and I know some people don't really understand how they work, but there are crystals for anxiety. There's crystals for a lot of things, and in my opinion, Ree is the guru, and she can definitely give y'all a lot of information on that.
Yeah, so you guys know how we say that you have tools available to you here on this plane. Crystals are one of those. They come from the earth, and they contain healing energy. Some of the crystals that I actually enjoy, you can get a black onyx. The onyx is good for soaking up negativity and blocking yourself from negativity or anything of that nature. Rose quartz is really good for relieving stress as well as opening up that heart chakra, drawing in love, for the men and women out there. Then we got the amethyst. The amethyst is actually my all-time favorite. I sleep with the amethyst up under my pillows and I have the absolute best dreams, like so vivid, so realistic, and they always come to pass.
Yeah, I have 2 amethyst necklaces. You don't have to just carry around the crystal itself, pretty much. You can get it in jewelry fashion.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, for me, I have the necklace. Whenever I go out someplace, I put it underneath my undershirt so it's closer to my chest region. So skin to crystal. So that's how I rock mine. I know some people have it on their keychains, and I understand there's different ways, different approach to it, but it's not just one way you can use it or carry it around. There's multiple ways you can have it on you and it be effective.
Oh yeah, like me, I actually keep a amethyst and a clear quartz on my keychain, and a clear quartz is basically going to amplify and improve the surrounding energy. Clear quartz is really good when you're riding in your car. I know it's weird, but it does improve gas mileage and things of that nature. And then as far as citrine is also a good crystal. And then if you are here in the Duval County area, we actually have 2 crystal stores that I'm aware of, which is Earth's Gifts over on the west side, and then I believe it's Midnight Sun over in 5 Points. And they would have, an array of crystals that you can choose from. If you have any questions, I'm pretty sure someone there will be able to assist as well.
Yeah, and I feel like if you're going through something like anxiety, you should definitely try multiple things to see what works for you and keeping your anxiety to a minimum. So if you're able to, at least, look into it. I mean, there's books about it. Because I remember when I first got into it, again, Ree put me on this path. And I was like, yo, tell me about this, tell me about that, tell me. Like I said, just see what works for you. Like, definitely try it and see if that is a solution or a path that you would like to go down, especially dealing with anxiety or, panic attacks.
Yeah, y'all know we want to be the shuckers and drivers here. We want to change it up, get people on different things. So this will tie into, when we became your new best friends, how we were telling you guys how we dealt with our depression and how we decided to go a different route than the prescribed medicine. So even if you don't deal with anxiety, if you ever feel impatient, or if you ever feel irritable, or if you want to attract abundance, a better night's sleep, anything, look into a crystal to see if that can possibly assist you. It's here on this plane. It's from the earth. So it's natural. It's not something that's not realistic. It's something that's available to you. You just have to be open and willing to accept that.
All right. So let me ask you a question. What made you go and actually research about the crystals? Like, what made you go that route?
What made me go that route? Honestly, it's been so long ago. I don't even remember what that initial thing was that pushed me that way. But it's kind of like one of those things where you're a kid in a candy store. Literally. Because I've taken some kids to a crystal store and I had to tell them, no. Put that down. Larisha is working on saving. I don't have any money. But yeah, you're like a kid in a candy store, because it's like once you see that, these tools are available to you, and it's dependent on the relationship that you build with them to harness their energy, to use them for the purpose that you want to use them for, it's causing you to tap into more of your personal power, and once you start tapping into that, you want more. So you're going to get it however you can. I use crystals for everything. I keep them in my room, in my car. I make waist beads. Ladies, that's really good for those that may be out there on their fitness journey, like Granddad. Put some waist beads on your waist, and that'll help you monitor you losing and gaining weight, as well as the amount of food you intake throughout your day. But back to your question, I'm not sure what got me started, but I'm thankful for me questioning everything and clicking on one video, causing me to click on the next video. Somehow the universe exposed me, and I'm forever grateful for that.
For sure. So I guess we can go ahead and start talking about the signs.
Go ahead and actually pull up the meme that inspired us to go ahead and further dive into this conversation. So there was actually a meme I was struggling on Instagram, and the meme says, just a friendly reminder that anxiety attacks aren't always hyperventilating and rocking back and forth. They are also random bursts of irritability, obsessive behavior and nitpicking, hypersensitivity, pacing, silence, zoning out, and then it says, always look for signs with your loved ones.
And I know I zone out. I was at the beach in the past with someone and just looking off into space, and they were like, "Oh, you all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good." But really, I was not good. I was like trying to figure stuff out. Like, "Oh, snap, what's going on?" One thing about me is I'm very good at hiding it. Like, people don't even know I'm having a panic attack, and I'm panicking underneath this straight face of mine. Those are some definitely signs to be aware of, because sometimes if you're like me, if you have a loved one that's like me and they're hiding it, it's hard to actually gauge.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And it'll show up as, oh, she's a perfectionist, or, oh, she just has a nasty attitude. And usually it's not those things. What it is that we don't know how to cope with this reality. And we're using other things and blaming it on other things instead of confronting what it actually is. Like, what I will say as far as hiding it, you shouldn't necessarily do that if you're able to have the right kind of tribe around you.
True.
For you to be able to open up and express how you're feeling. Because a lot of times if you let other people, know the type of things that you go through, they can a lot of times assist you with coming out of it a lot quicker versus you just always feeling like you have to do it by yourself. You're not in it alone at all.
Yeah, and that is correct, man. It's like what Ree just said. Having the right people around you when you're going through it is a major thing, because I feel like people may not really understand where you're coming from with the anxiety, especially if they don't really deal with it or know that they deal with it as well.
Oh, yeah.
Like, when you tell them this, they may think you're crazy or you need help. Like, sometimes it's not that at all. It's just, where you're at that moment. You may have overbearing thoughts that are crippling you at the moment.
Yeah.
It's not as serious as what someone who doesn't deal with anxiety may think it is. Sometimes, like I said, it's just you calming yourself down that is the solution to you moving past that moment of panicking.
Yeah, I definitely get what you're saying. And I think the reason that we don't really discuss mental health in the Black community is because no one wants to be called crazy.
Exactly.
And it's almost like we glorify the different kind of crazy, the I'ma bust your windows out and slash your tires crazy.
It's all the same. It's all the same.
When in actuality, that person might have multiple personalities.
Schizophrenia.
Right. So it's not that you're crazy, but definitely want to be able to set the space here on this podcast and definitely with this episode for anyone that may be listening that has their partner or their parents that they've been trying to explain, this overcoming feeling that they get or these overwhelming thoughts that undertake them. Because I know as a child, when I went to my mom and said, oh, I don't feel well, she's going to feel my forehead. She's going to feel my chest. If I'm sneezing, she's going to give me something to stop the sneeze. But when you're going through anxiety, there isn't a physical thing that anyone can see. It's all mental. It's all on the inside. And a lot of times if people can't see it, they don't believe it. But we have to get out of that because we have to understand that it's more than just what's in the physical that's going on. So if you are being impaired by something in the realm of the unseen, make it vocal so that we may not be able to see it, but we've heard about it. And now that we've heard about it, we can move forward with building solutions to fix it.
I tend to, when I go through my phases, like, people may ask me what's going on, but again, it's mental, and they probably will never understand what you're going through mentally because they can't see it. With me, I tend to tell myself that things are gonna be all right. Mm-hmm. Like, this is just a moment thing.
Right.
For whatever reason, I'm feeling like this, but I know later on today when I'm sitting at the crib with a juice box, I'm gonna be all right. I'm gonna be just fine. But sometimes I think people do realize that you're having a tough time wherever you're at. I know a lot of people, when they do have anxiety attacks or, start panicking, they just want to, just pack up and leave. Like, you could be in the middle of a party and be like, what, I just gotta go. Yeah, I just gotta go. And that's that. I'm one of those people. I'm definitely one of those people.
Yeah, and I get that. Look at the society, that we live in. We're raised in a society where you gotta get this money at all times. You can't have nothing slowing you down. You need to, grind. There is no time for you to have imaginary things happening to you that are crippling you. No, you don't have time for that. You need to get out in society and shuck and jive like everyone else. But the thing is that this is real. Us being in the Black community, we don't discuss things like this. And that's why you have the ones that as soon as they start to feel it, they want to pack up and go because they already know ahead of time, just based on how it has been in generations past. You don't have time to feel like that. Back when we were on the plantation, you didn't have time to feel like that. Now that we're free and a different type of slave, you still don't have time to feel like that. And what we have to understand is that we need to make time. We need to create space because these are things that are impacting us, and we need to know as a unit, how can we work through these? Just like how it said that it's showing up as irritability or nitpicking. I know a lot of us grew up in the household. Mom said, wash the dishes. But by the time mom got home, somebody just had to eat a bowl of cereal. And then she started going in about that one spoon and that one bowl That's nitpicking because it is nothing really, really dirty. But you have to think, that mom also could have been a single parent that was out working all day. So she's feeling a little anxious. She's trying to come home and relax, but she can't necessarily do that because she has us to continue to raise. So we have to set space so that people feel more comfortable, because I feel like once we're able to work past some of this imaginary bondage that we have, we're going to be limitless at that point. Nothing is going to be able to stop us.
Yeah, and that's real. Like what Ree just said was really, really, I hope y'all really listen to, especially that. If you didn't listen to any other part of this podcast, which I hope you did, I hope you really listen to what she just said. I know coming up in my household, with the irritability with parents, my mom, she wasn't really all that irritable, but she could have been. But my pops, that's my boy, that's my homie now. But back in the day, he used to be when I get home, everything better be clean, and then there'll be a receipt paper on the floor, and it's, what the heck is this?
Going in.
Yeah, then I what she just said, you gotta understand, he probably was going through his own thing at that time, and irritability is definitely one of the signs of anxiety or having a panic attack.
Yeah, so it's just setting space. We have to understand that we all have each other's best interests in mind. Yeah, we do have a lot of pride that we need to learn how to set aside in 2018, which is what we stated last episode. Here on the Black Shift Group, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to set space on our social medias, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, for us to make that a space so that if anyone is going through anything, if anyone has any tips, anyone has any ideas, let's get it out there. Let's get it written down. Let's reach out to each other. Each one teach one. We have to, because we all we got.
Yeah, and again, just to piggyback off what she said, if you're going through something, especially anxiety or, having sessions of panic attacks, you can definitely reach out and touch or reach out and talk to us. we always, we're aware of what goes on all of our sites. Me personally, and I know Ree for a fact, we circle through all of our social media sites on a hour to hour basis, checking it out. So if you are going through some stuff and you just need to talk to someone that understands where you are at and what you're going through, by all means, please use the sites, use the comment section, use whatever you can. We are here to definitely talk to you about it, because like she said, anxiety may not always just be, someone not talking to you or just clamming up. It's way more signs to anxiety dealing with panic attacks than just closing yourself off.
Yeah, you don't have to do that anymore. We are your new best friends. That was the point of that episode, to let you know this is a no judgment zone. At any point you need someone to talk to, hit us up. We'll talk to you. Not saying that we're going to holler at you for a relationship. Just want to put that out there.
Yeah, just we here to help.
Y'all know I gotta crack a joke on here. I just have to.
Of course.
But another tip that I also want to give that helps me when I'm actually at work and I may be feeling a little overwhelmed, I'll take a step, off of the call center floor. I'll head over to the bathroom. And something that I learned throughout my at-home practice of yoga is breathing technique, where I'll take my finger and close one of the nostrils of my nose and breathe in through that nostril and out through my mouth. And then I'll flip it, close the other one, and leave the other open, in and out. And I'll constantly do that until I feel myself almost go into a limbo or a lightheaded state, because I feel like your brain is what's overloading and causing your body to have the physical reactions to the overload of negative thoughts. So I feel like if you can get it lightheaded, kind of lighten up its workload as far as the thoughts that are going through, it'll allow you to kind of detach yourself from those physical feelings so that you can then reground yourself and continue to push through your day. That is something that helped me when I was first, regrounding myself as far as getting back into the 9-to-5 grind, because I would have times where I just felt like, I'm getting too many calls, or I feel like, what more do you want from me? I had to hit the Tyrese. So it's whenever I feel like that, I run to the bathroom, and that was something that I did, and it helped me me. It leveled me out.
Yeah, with me, I'm learning to use my brain more. I understand that, like I said, the brain is the most powerful organ in your body. I feel like if you can just mentally get yourself under control, you probably can ride it out. But I try to tell myself, again, it's okay. You know, this is all just in the moment thing. Yes. It's not going to last forever. Mm-hmm. And eventually I'm going to be good. And then, like I said, I like to try to, when I'm in those moments, I don't like to think, because when you're in a panic attack or have an anxiety attack, you're thinking that this may last forever. Like, will I never have the thought pattern or have the at peace mindset? Yeah. Like, you're thinking like, oh, this is it. This is the final one. But you have to, you have to put the mindset in of thinking towards the future. Like, I'm gonna be good. You know, when I get home, I got this book I'm gonna read. Or when I get home, I'm gonna do this. You know, think of happy thoughts. Like, think about a place where you just, as a kid or as an adult, you went to that trip and it was just pure fun. Like, that helps. That tends to help. You gotta understand your brain is a part of, you know, of the anxiety attack, but also that brain that is making the anxiety happens can lead you up out of that anxiety or panic attack as well.
Yes, it can. And I guess, you know, just to give you guys kind of insight on how I feel that we're developing the Black Shift Group, this first season, we're really trying to get you guys to up your mindsets and get more in touch with your brain power. Yes, you know, because I feel like once we anchor down the mentality, the thoughts, the things that we say, nothing else is going to be able to stop us. We have been traumatized. If you are aware, if you have researched African history, it has been a lot of traumatization going on, even with the education system, how we were brought up, because I wasn't aware through K through 12. I pretty much failed history all through school because I thought only white people did shit. But now that I'm older, I'm realizing that, you know, we did stuff too. For us to be barred from that information for so long, you have a hard time coping because you've been taught that you were less than. So this season, we want to, you know, build our minds up, build that internal power up, because, you know, every season after this, we're going to be talking about the next step. What can we do to get to the next step? But right now, we're building a solid foundation. And for you to have a solid foundation, you need to have a solid mind.
Exactly. The mind is definitely the foundation. Think about it as a house. You got to have that foundation. You just can't go into a swampy place and say, you know, I'm going to build a house here. You got to have that level foundation in the brain, the mind. That is the foundation, because without that, none of this structure will be able to stand. And as far as anxiety and panic attacks go, your brain is the cataclysmic of that it is the center it is the center stage of where this is coming from. Your brain is so powerful, you just don't know. Like, as a human, I think we only use about 10% of our brain, right? You know, and that brain controls so much stuff. Like, my panic attacks cause me to have chest pains, and then I will go to the doctor, and the doctor will say, it's nothing wrong with you. You're practically healthy. You're a healthy young man. And then I'm like, no, I feel this pain in my chest. I'm having shortness of breath. Like, you can't tell me what I'm feeling right now. But then I as I got older, I understood, like, yo, this is a panic attack. This is anxiety doing this. So you got to understand, your brain is pumping this stuff out. You just got to get on top of it. And I understand it may be hard in the moment, but you got to get on top of it.
Yeah, because I believe that you can do it. And just to kind of, you know, elaborate on what Granddad was saying, it's kind of like, you know, when it's something wrong with you, but you don't want to go to the doctor, so you Google WebMD. WebMD. And if you know, like, all the things that are going to take place, it's always death. Like, you going to die, you know? So it's like, then you've read that, so you've given that to your brain, so your brain is like, okay, I got to get ready to kill us.
Yeah, so. Manifestation. Yeah, like my arm, like, oh yeah, for this disease, your arm need to be tingling. Next thing you know, your brain makes your arm tingle. Oh, snap! It's over. It's me. I got it.
I gotta go. I gotta go.
Yeah, that right there lead to a panic or anxiety attack while you playing. Like, you know, for real, stay off WebMD.
Yeah, definitely. You got to. I need us to become our own doctors, guys. We need to start paying attention more to ourselves, and I feel like, you know, once we pay attention, pick up our characteristics, and realize that, hey, this may just be a flaw that I've been saying that this is just how I am. No, that is not just how you are. We no longer need to maintain defense mechanisms and maintain survival skills that we had to grow up. It's time to move past that, and it's time for us to grow past that, because we're no longer at the point of trying to survive. We are not trying to thrive. So that's why we need to go ahead and get past these brain illnesses, depression, anxiety, panic attacks. Because once you grab the full wheel and control of what your brain is doing and what you allow into your brain, I'm telling you guys, nothing will be able to stop you.
If you don't really too much deal with panic attacks and anxiety, listening to this, and we told you a few of the signs to look forward to, just be open if someone is having an anxiety attack, like one of your friends. Be open to it. Definitely try to be the shoulder to listen to, but just don't write it off as not being real. Like, oh, like whatever you're going through isn't real.
Yeah.
So like that's the wrong thing to do when one of your loved ones or friends are going through it, and you probably noticed it, because like I said, we did give you some of the signs to look forward. So be open, especially if your friend is having it, or your parents or somebody around you is having it. Be open, be a shoulder, try to calm them, try to soothe them, try to get them to talk about it, because talking about it sometimes does help a lot.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
it gets it off your mind. So please, 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 with the signs, please be sure to not write off someone else's panic attack or anxiety attack because you don't think it's real.
Yeah, and share this episode. You guys know that we are on YouTube, SoundCloud, Podbean, as well as Google Play. So, send it to your parent if you're having a hard time communicating with them.
True.
As far as what's wrong with you. Send it to that friend that you know deals with anxiety, but they don't necessarily know that that's what they're dealing with. Let's get it out there. Actually, I do have another suggestion as far as what you can do for anxiety, and this is more of a supplement that you can take. I really hope I don't say this name wrong, y'all. But
we was just practicing his name before we got on. Yeah, we was saying it with no problem, and she was like, "Yo, when I get on here, I might butcher it."
Look, I'm gonna spell it for y'all though. But it's Ashwanga. Okay, see, forget it.
Hey, real life.
So I am gonna go ahead and spell this. That's gonna be ASHWAGANDHA. And basically it is a natural herb, a natural root actually, that helps you deal with stress. My suggestion as far as how I take it, if I notice that I'm going on maybe day 2, day 3 of still feeling this anxious feeling, I'll go ahead and take one at bedtime, and that'll assist me. This is not something that you want to take every single day, because just like anything that you can bring into your body, too much of anything is bad. So, look that up. I spelled it out for you guys. So I hope you guys are carrying, a notebook and a real pencil with you, so that when the universe divinely talks to you, you can go ahead and get those things written down. That's your ancestors feeding you your survival kit. So I hope you guys are, writing that down. Look it up and see if that's something that can help you. I know it has helped me, since I'm not taking any man-made drugs. I'm trying to keep it natural, deal with all the tools that are available to me on this plane put here by the divine.
That's true. Man-made. Try to stay away from the man-mades. Please, 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 please. Stay away from those man-made drugs and pharmaceuticals. Like, if you really, truly, last resort need to, but then again, I will still tell you to stay away from those man-mades. Also, a tip that I can give you, and one that helps me, is go and just be in nature and just sit down and just focus. Just like don't even focus on a main ideal or topic in your brain. Just like focus on what's going on around you as far as like the scenery. Like just enjoy it. It'll clear that mind out for you. It's like a form of meditation. Meditation is a big thing. Meditation. If you're not into meditation, like please, like yoga, that's still a form of meditation. It's a big thing as far as clearing that mind out. Cause again, for like the third time, it is a mental thing. It is mental. Like this anxiety and all that is all mental. As soon as your brain understands that it's nothing serious, I'm pretty sure that anxiety attack, it'll go away.
It will. It is mental. We just got to get out of our heads, and we need to, rein it in. One thing I do want to say, since Granddad sent us to the park, leave the phone in the car.
Yep.
Don't look at that screen. Do not stroll anything. Because a lot of times that's causing your anxiety as well. Because you feel like you're left behind. Because you see this person is already doing this while you're doing this. Stop. Just stop. Why are you comparing yourself? The only person that you're competing with is yourself.
That's real. You definitely gotta put the phone down sometime. Little do you know that phone What's going on the social interweb is definitely a part of it. You can be trying to compare your life to someone else and it becomes depressing. So that definitely leads to anxiety and panic attacks. So definitely try to separate yourself from the phone when you're trying to clear that mind out.
Yeah, and parents, I need you guys to take heed. We were lucky enough to grow up in a time period where technology was not full force as it is now. Those of us that have children, they're being born into technology. They're coming down to this plane already pre-wired to know how to work this stuff. I know y'all, we've seen our nieces and nephews, little cousins, and even some of our kids already know how to work the phone, already know how to get on Snapchat.
Yeah, my nephew, YouTube out. He's YouTube down.
Yeah, so you want to be mindful of their internet diet. You want to restrict that. You want to keep them in this real world as much as you can, because you don't want them growing up already comparing themselves. We don't want that. You don't want them sitting on YouTube watching other people play with toys and dolls while they're not playing with toys and dolls. Because that's the thing. Pay attention to what your kids are watching. Just take heed.
That is so true. That is real. That right there will be the beginning stages of kind of depression when they start to understand things. Like why don't I have these things that I see the kids on YouTube playing with? Yeah, it's a gift and a curse. The internet is a gift and a curse within itself. And again, like Ree said, young kids, YouTube, Facebook, IG, they're already on there, like young ages, like 10. My nephew, of course, he's only about 3, but he's on YouTube a lot. Like he just watches kids open toys up and play with toys. And right now, that's entertainment to him.
That's a thing right now.
Yeah, like that's a real thing. I'm pretty sure.
That's a show. The kids that I interact with, that I'm around often, I noticed that when I was babysitting a few weeks back, I have the Chromecast, so I like to have whatever child around me. I need to see what you're looking at. I don't have any children yet, but I already have that motherly instinct. So we both watching this. You're not watching this by yourself. So when they cast onto the screen, adults, basically grown people, opening up toys, but talking like they're kids and then playing with the toys, that made me uncomfortable, because here you are, got a big old toy chest full of the same things that they're playing with, but you're not playing with your own items. So the internet is robbing our children of their imagination. It's taking it away from them, and it's teaching them how to think, how to eat, how to dress, how to be. And we need to, get them back into this real reality. And I'll say it again, we were lucky enough to grow up before the internet took control. Kids don't go outside and play anymore. Apartment complexes are being built without playgrounds. We get them out of that, take them to the park, allot them only so much internet that they can take in. Just like we're here on the Black Shift Group always preaching about our diets as far as, the TV that we watch and the things that we're allowed to consume. We need to do that for our children, but we need to do it a lot better. We need to make sure that we're educating them other than what they're learning in school, because you have to understand that we are now getting ready to start running the world. But when our time is up, it's going to be their time. And we need to make sure that they are prepared and they understand what's to come.
And that's real, especially the part about apartment complexes with no playground area. Kids don't want to go outside.
Nope.
I remember back in the day for us, we used to go in the woods. The woods was the place to go. Yeah, it wasn't until probably later on, until I got savvy on the internet, that I probably started going through the whole anxiety stuff. It probably wasn't until that time. As a kid, I don't remember ever being clammy and all that type of stuff and wanted to be shut off. I always wanted to be around people, go outside and have fun. So it is definitely a part of the problem. But at the same time, like I said, the internet is a gift and a curse within itself.
Yeah, and too much of anything is no good. So I know we kind of, talked you guys head off today. We discussed some anxiety. We discussed some preventative action. And then somehow we ended up talking about the children and internet.
Because it does relate. It does, because, that does lead to it. Kids seeing that type of stuff. Well, as they get older, they're going to be like, well, why don't I have it?
Yeah,
So,
and we don't want them to feel like they're without, but they need to understand that, nothing comes for free. You must work for everything, and sometimes what's for the other person is not for you, and the internet is not teaching them these things. So, Granddad, did you have, anything else you wanted to add?
Drink tea. Like
yes.
the good tea, not the sweet tea from McDonald's. Like, tea is definitely a anxiety reducer.
That was a good idea, Granddad.
Yeah, drink tea.
I don't know why I didn't mention that. I am actually an avid tea drinker. Get you some herbs. Look up some herbs and play with your own tea blends. Those should be able to assist. And yes, all social medias, I'm going to rock them one more time. We got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Y'all know we're available on YouTube,
No excuses.
Google Play.
No excuses. You could go anywhere. We trying to be everywhere. Turn is no excuses. Everybody got the YouTube app. YouTube app come on the phone when you first get it. Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
Pre-programmed.
Yeah, and if you're Android, you automatically have Google Play as well.
See?
So rock with us, Let us know moving forward any topics that you guys want to hear. We got some great things planned for you guys this season. Just making sure that we get this foundation laid right as far as communication, making sure we're more sound-minded so that we can get ready to thrive instead of always feeling like we need to survive.
The Black Shift Group, yeah.
All right. Well, thank y'all so much.